Welcome to this masterclass, how to drop 30 pounds in 90 days. Even if you've failed before, because there seems to be a misconception in the fitness industry that one size fits all. Perhaps you've tried a one-off program, you've followed a couple of YouTube videos, you've downloaded an app, and that's yielded results based on short-term quick fixes, and you have that instant dopamine hit. You get in somewhat shape, but it's not sustainable. It doesn't actually fit your lifestyle. Well, in this masterclass, I'm here to teach you the methods around your individual living, how you can actually drop 30 pounds in 90 days without restrictive dieting, without endless hours of cardio, and without the gym becoming your life. So who is this for? If you are someone that's constantly losing weight and you're putting it back on, what I would call yo-yo dieting, if you're always guessing what foods to eat, you're always guessing what exercises to do, and you want some structure, you want some clarity, you want to have a routine to follow, but you also want to lose that stubborn belly fat that sits at the bottom of your belly and your love handles, which hug around the sides. You also want to build muscle so you can fit into clothes you like and you can actually fill out your sleeves. If you are someone that struggles with any of these, well, this is for you. You're tired of having to suck in your stomach and hide belly rolls whilst filling out a breath all the time. This could be at home, or it could be on holiday when you do take your top off, at the beach or by the pool. You're tired of having low energy and self-confidence. You also don't want to be unhappy with how your stomach looks because it affects the way that you think and also the way that you feel. But you do want to inspire others with your physique, whether it's friends, your family, your partner, yourself. And you want your pre-COVID body back, and you want to feel how you used to. So to summarize, if you've been prioritizing other areas of your life, which most of us will have been, like business or work, your family, for too long, whilst neglecting your health and your dream body goals, well, this is for you. However, a big disclaimer: if you tick any one of these points right now, I would like to ask you to politely piss off. If you're a know-it-all and you think you've got all of this figured out, this is not for you. If you're not willing to get uncomfortable and actually put in the work, I've made this as easy as possible. So if you are still someone that's not willing to invest hours into this thing, it's not for you. If you're in denial about the negative impact of your lifestyle on your health, perhaps you smoke, you drink, you eat processed foods, drinks, cakes, biscuits, chocolate, sweets, then this is not for you. However, that's not me saying that you can't have those foods. If you're small-minded and you're stuck in your own ways, if you don't want to lose body fat from the most stubborn areas and you value money and material possessions over your own health, well, this is not for you. Because I want to teach you how to create the lifestyle of your dreams without sacrificing your health or appearance. Because the fitness industry nowadays, there are coaches out there with zero qualifications giving you one-off meal plans, giving you one-off training programs, hours and hours of cardio, and your health, your hormones, they end up in the gutter. So I want to teach you how you can actually spend much less time in the gym or not even go at all and still look amazing. But it's up to you whether you want to come on that journey with me or not. Because everything that you need in a scientifically proven and tested format to build the health, to build your body, it uses one simple formula over and over again. And let me make you a promise, this isn't going to be another gimmick or a fad diet pitch that you've had before where you get emotionally high and then you fall off track after the first couple of weeks. So what makes this different? I've got nothing to sell. I'm not here to sell you anything. But instead, I want to give you something. I want to give you a free recipe guide to kickstart your journey, because for the majority of you, I think that instant dopamine hit of following a nutritious recipe, whether it's baking at home or you gather with friends, family, partner, and actually do something together, your environment dictates your performance. So my gift to you is, if you make it to the end of this masterclass and you DM me recipe on Instagram or via my email anywhere below this, I will send you across the healthy recipe guide. No questions asked. So now that that's over, are you ready to learn how to eat your favorite foods and exercise your way whilst dropping up to 30 pounds in the next 90 days? If so, I'll break down the science on how this is done in a few minutes, but a little intro into myself, because for some of you, you may not necessarily know who I am. So my name is Jack. I am a med school graduate, so I spent the best part of 5 years at medical school, and I've got over probably 15 years now training experience. After med school, I worked as a diabetes lecturer and a biomedical scientist, and I helped just over 2,000 patients lose 5 to 20 kilos of body fat, improve their relationship with food, improve their hormones, and reduce long-term health complications associated with obesity. And over the last couple of years, since we've been running Fit Coach, I've helped over hundreds and hundreds of clients transform their lives. And it all started with my own journey from week 1 to week 12 whilst I was at med school. So this is hands-on experience. It's tried, it's tested, and ultimately I want to help you improve your health and improve your body so that you can get the results that you want without sacrificing hours and hours of your life in the gym or eating less nutritious foods. So the first question you're probably asking is, does this method work, or does it only work for one type of person? It works for everyone. So we're going to go through a couple of case studies. For example, Nick on the left-hand side, he is a physiotherapist. He is in his late 20s. I believe he's around like 29. And he managed to lose 13 kilos of body fat without restrictive dieting in 11 weeks. And you're probably thinking, well, he looks like a bodybuilder. He is most definitely not. He's the complete opposite. He's actually a physiotherapist and he's also an endurance runner. But to lose body fat, do we actually need to engage in any form of cardio? No. Interestingly, even though he was an endurance runner, he did zero cardio for the first 12 weeks within our transformation program. And this is the result that he got. Then we have Yain. Yain's an entrepreneur. He works 60 hours per week. He's also in his late 20s and he has a newborn on the way. He's also married and supports his father alongside a steel industry company where they sell steel. And he managed to lose 14 kilos of body fat, again, without restrictive dieting, in 12 weeks. And we can see that his body composition has massively improved there. Not only has he dropped body fat, but he has also built muscle. And then finally, we got Muz. So Muz is in his late 40s. He's got 2 kids. Unfortunately, he is a widower. And he thought that this transformation program would not work for him based on the fact that he was working long hours as a senior analyst. Hence, I haven't put it in brackets because it could vary. But he managed to lose 16 kilos in 12 weeks, whilst being a father to 2 kids, 2 very, very lovely boys, and also working all hours of the day, but most importantly, showing up for himself. Now, if you are someone that is skinny fat, this method also works for you, because we have Ali, who works in the phone industry, and he works roughly 40 hours per week, and he managed to lose 4 kilos in 4 weeks and improve his body composition. He also has IBS, so the fact that we had to choose particular foods for him to eat without disrupting his gastrointestinal system wasn't challenging at all. But Ali was in this mindset of, well, he wouldn't be able to lose body fat and build muscle based on that problem. Instead, we brainstorm solutions and we put a plan of action in place. We then have Jed. He works in London. He works over 40 hours per week, and he managed to lose 10 kilos of body fat in 10 weeks. Again, his body composition has massively improved. So we're not only looking to lose body fat or lose weight, we're looking to build muscle simultaneously. And then we have Alev. Alev is a model. So before he started working with us, he really struggled with nutrition and also physical activity. He had no experience whatsoever. And in 12 weeks, he managed to lose 14 kilos again without restrictive dieting. So if you are someone that is skinny fat, you're not sure how to build muscle and how to drop body fat simultaneously, it really comes down to a tried and tested method or a strategy that is designed around your lifestyle. All of these individuals had a completely unique method that they needed to follow. So what are you going to learn today? Why you have failed in the past, why things haven't gone as well as they should. We're also going to look at mastering the 80-20 rule of nutrition, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with. 80% eating nutritious foods, 20% less nutritious foods, because we all love cakes, biscuits, chocolates, sweets. We're also going to learn how to perform optimal exercises and the methods around those exercises without draining hours of time, because nobody wants to spend around 2 to 3 hours in the gym. We also have a life outside the gym. And then the actual secret info behind mindsets required to create sustainable change. If you take one thing away from today's masterclass, it is the mind believes what the body can achieve. So if you believe that you can get in shape, it starts with mindset, the body will follow. So crash dieters, if you are someone that is a crash dieter, essentially you start the diet, you restrict your calories, you cut them super drastically, it leads to deprivation. You find that plan was not sustainable. You then go into this recovery phase where you start to eat a little bit more food, then you start to crave a little bit more food because your blood sugars are all over the place, and also a hormone called ghrelin, or what I like to call the gremlin, comes out into the stomach. It shoots now up to the brain and it says, Jack, you're super hangry, eat whatever you want from the cupboards. And then you have guilt, because you've then put on a tremendous amount of water weight, or depending on how long you've been crash dieting, it might even be body fat as well. And then you start that diet once again. So we are here to try and fix that. Now, crash dieters, they tend to be impatient. They tend to be inconsistent with their actions, and they hop from diet to diet, finding the next best trend, and they leave things until the very last minute before making a change. So from what I've seen from previous experience, is they cut out entire food groups hoping for a quick fix. If you're following a ketogenic diet, if you're following a carnivore diet, of course you are going to be pulling carbohydrate, and then that will drop intracellular water, which means you will lose weight 100%. However, it's not sustainable. They also force themselves to follow a cookie cutter plan that doesn't suit their lifestyle, and they wonder why it's unsustainable. Please do not cut food groups from your diet. you should incorporate a balanced diet where you have carbohydrate, protein, and fat. Restriction is also not the solution. So I actually tried to find the best picture to represent this because I am a huge fan of coconut or even like dark chocolate. So we've got a chocolate pizza here. You can still eat pizza, cakes, biscuits, chocolates, sweets, and lose body fat and lose weight. And the next question I'll probably get is, well, why am I not losing weight then? It comes down to the quantity that you're eating rather than the quality. So the 80-20 rule really underlines this, where 80% of the time you eat nutritious foods and then 20% of the time you eat less nutritious foods. Look at that, we got some M&Ms on there as well, and even Maltesers. So men who restrict foods, they will never be able to stay in shape forever, because at some point they will give in. I find those that eat out of Tupperwares or meal prep 365 days of the year, it's monotonous, it's tedious, because when you're not clear on this, you end up repelling all of the good things in life just to drop an extra pound. And you will reach burnout and you will become miserable. Trust me, I've been there. We've had hundreds of clients go through this as well. So instead, we actually need to start to look at your psychology behind behavioral change and find foods that are going to be nutritious, but also that are going to be sustainable and you enjoy. So what can you expect from the switch? Well, you're going to have more freedom. You're going to have flexibility in your nutrition and also your training. You're also going to have incredible experiences with friends, with family, instead of being left out and being that one person that brings meal prep to a Sunday roast, or currently whilst I'm filming this, it's Christmas. And I know guys in my current gym who are eating meal prep over Christmas. How often do you get to celebrate those things? Christmas, birthdays, New Year, it's one time a year. So really it comes down to the strategy behind losing that body fat rather than the type of food. No more low confidence or self-esteem issues as well, because you will understand how to actually navigate your nutrition with confidence, and you'll also be following a science-backed system that does all of the heavy lifting for you. So the secret is calorie balance. And calorie balance essentially comes down to a few things. We have meal timing, we have micronutrient, we have supplementation, and then we have calories. Now, the 10% here are going to be meal timing, micronutrients, and supplementation. So meal timing is essentially when you eat across the day. If you have 3 meals a day from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. and then 6 p.m. in the evening, that's the 10%. In the grand scheme of things, it's all about how many calories that you're having. And if you did want to get into the nitty gritty of like body composition, then it'd be like the type of macronutrients that you're having as well. Micronutrients also 10%. So things like vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients. Yes, you can lose body fat eating that chocolate pizza. Is it going to be the best for you? No. But if you can incorporate a little bit more micronutrients into your diet, as well as those less nutritious foods, well, guess what? You're still going to lose weight. You're still going to drop body fat, and it's going to be more sustainable. We then have supplementation as well. The supplement industry make a huge amount of money. And the reason they do is because of their marketing. You can get pretty much everything from food. However, there are 5 supplements that I do recommend. If you stay to the end of this webinar, I'll probably break it down for you. If I do forget, just drop me a message with the word supplements on Instagram, and I'll send across my top 5, which are essential, which you would have to eat a lot of certain food groups to be able to not be deficient in them. We then have protein and calories. They are the 2 most important things. So calories, the reference nutrient intake for the average adult is about 2,000 calories per day. And then protein, we want 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So as long as you are sufficient in protein and you're eating a sufficient number of calories, provided that you are in a calorie deficit, then there is no reason why you can't lose body fat or lose weight. And please don't let the experts fool you, because over the last couple of years, if you don't know who this is, it's the Liver King. His marketing was often pushed towards younger viewers, but also men in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, saying that the carnivore diet massively improved his health. And the biggest reveal is often the secret use of performance enhancement drugs, so PEDs, anabolic steroids. Liver King admitted to a primal diet, but he actually hid the extensive steroid use to achieve his physique. And someone found out. Someone actually called him out, and his sales dropped dramatically overnight. So please don't be fooled with what you see on social media. Please don't believe absolutely everything that you see. There are some coaches out there that are top quality, but the majority of them, I would actually say 95% of them, 5% are actually pretty good, are all fluff. So please, please, please don't believe everything that you see. And also don't let influencers sway your thinking. Now, exceptions do not disprove rules. So what might work for someone else might not work for you. So there might be people out there that have followed a ketogenic diet, a carnivore diet. They have also tried metabolic carb cycling, where you have more carbs in a training day and less carbs on a rest day. They may follow a meal plan 7 days a week. They may do hours and hours of cardio. Please understand that may not work for you. So instead, we need to understand what works for you. And remember that sustainability is always going to be king. So playing with averages, what does this mean? Well, if you prefer to eat the same calories every single day from Monday to Sunday, and let's say your weekly average is 1800, this is how it might look. Whereas if you are someone that does metabolic cycling, you actually like to cycle your calories, but your weekly average is still 1800, it might look like 2100 on Monday, 1575 on a Tuesday, and then 2100 on Wednesday. This is provided that you're training 3 times per week. And again, there's no one size fits all. It really comes down to your strategy and whether you actually want more fuel to aid your performance. I often like method number 2, but sometimes we do implement method number 1. And then number 3, if you prefer more calories on the weekend, this is my least preferred method because it can actually teach binge eating. However, if from Monday to Thursday you're eating 1400 calories and then on Friday you go out to your favorite restaurant, your favorite cafe, and this is a one-off, it's 1 time a month or maybe 2 times a month, and you eat 3000 calories, well, on the Saturday you've got 2600, and then on the Sunday you got 1400. Again, the weekly average is still 1800, so that would be in a calorie deficit and you would still lose body fat or even lose weight. So when people ask you, how are you eating out? You tell them it all comes down to weekly average calories, and it comes down to the strategy behind how you design that. So if you compare method 1 to method 3, method 1 might say, well, I eat the same thing every single day and I'm losing body fat. For some people that might not work because they want to have something different. They want to enjoy their weekends. Therefore, method number 3 might be better for them. So on the Friday and Saturday, they have that big splurge, they enjoy it, they don't regret a thing, and then the weekly average is still 1800 because throughout the week they have been consistent, let's say around 80%, 1400 calories from Monday to Thursday and then Sunday. So here's a few case studies. After 90 days to 140 days, we got Matt. Matt is in his late 40s and he had 3 spinal surgeries. And he worked 48 hours a week and he managed to lose 20 kilos of body fat, again, without restrictive dieting, in 20 weeks. So you can imagine what he looked like after the 12-week mark. And you might also ask, well, doesn't he look like a bodybuilder? He has over 20 years experience. So of course, again, this to be relative based on what you know, but also what you don't know. Because on the left-hand side, with 20 years experience, he still came to us. We still managed to lose 20 kilos of body fat without restrictive dieting, and he's in 10 times better shape. We then have Ben. He's a teacher. He works 48 hours per week. He's in his mid-30s, and he managed to lose 20 kilos of body fat on a 0 meal plan. So we didn't actually give him a meal plan whatsoever. He ate out multiple times per week. Even on the weekends, he indulged in things like alcohol. I remember he actually sent me across a photo of him like with this giant stein. I think it was Oktoberfest. and he was also eating like this giant bratwurst as well. And he still managed to lose body fat and lose weight, and he's in incredible shape now, and also in incredible health, and his confidence is just through the roof as well. So these are two different case studies. It doesn't matter what experience you have, whether you have 20 years experience or whether you have zero experience whatsoever. This method that we use is tried, is tested, it's scientifically proven. So quick question, ketogenic diets, should you be following them? In my opinion, no. And I've added a few memes here. It could be us, but I'm on keto. When you've been on a low carb diet for 5 years and realize it's only been 5 minutes. From a biological standpoint, whenever we have a lot of carbohydrates in our diet, it gets stored in what we call the liver and also the muscle. I like to call it storing it in the bank. You know, you get a wage every single month and then you put some money away. That's essentially what carbohydrates do, and they're stored as something called glycogen. So it's really, really important that we do have sufficient stores just to manage our overall energy levels, because if you're on a ketogenic diet and you don't have like some emergency cash fund or glycogen to dip into, well, you're really going to struggle and your energy is going to be absolutely zapped. So please, please, please do not follow a ketogenic diet. However, if you find it works for you, that's great, but in my opinion, and from a biological standpoint, it's better just to include all food groups. So, another case study, myself and one of my clients, Sam, we ate what we wanted. So, Sam actually lost 33 kilos of body fat in 30 weeks, all without restrictive dieting as well. So he's a pharmacist. He works 60 hours a week, probably one of the hardest workers I've ever met. He works Saturdays, pretty much works 7 days a week, right? And we really had to build his mindset around dieting, because I remember the story that he told me. He went down to a spa with his partner at the time, and he was basically getting changed and putting on one of the robes, and he looked at himself in the mirror and his confidence just dropped dramatically. And I remember he sent me across a video prior to starting with myself, and he was in bed, extremely hungover from the night before, and he was pretty much scoffing on a McDonald's burger. And he knew that something needed to change, and instead we just taught him how to be able to eat and how to be able to lose fat and build muscle simultaneously, without restrictive dieting, so that he could still enjoy the weekends, he could still go out with friends. And I think it was the fact that he was sort of numbing the pain from working so hard across the week that he thought he didn't have a strategy around his nutrition to be able to lose weight. But instead, what we actually did is plug in a nutrition protocol for him to be able to lose weight. The protocol is not a meal plan. Instead, it finds what you enjoy eating and how you can manage that across the week with the weekly averages. With myself, I don't follow a meal plan. I only follow calories and protein alongside a metabolic carb cycling. So on my training days, I will have more carbohydrate. On my rest days, I'll have less carbohydrate. But again, these are all variations of different case studies of how might this method work for you. So please understand that the one size fits all approach does not work. We need to be able to understand your nutritional behaviors, what you like and also what you dislike, so that you are not drastically cutting calories just to lose weight or to lose body fat. Also to mention, I don't live like a bodybuilder. I don't eat out of Tupperwares. I don't restrict myself. I don't eat chicken and rice. What's the other things that I sort of think bodybuilders do? I think that's the majority of them. I think that's their personality, right? Whereas we actually want to live our lives. So truth and myths about fat loss. The truth, it's important for your health. Okay, it's a mental boost from progression. The myths, you need to spend hours in the gym or do grueling cardio. That's wrong. You can train at home or do bodyweight workouts. That's also wrong, because muscles understand stimulus. They don't understand the type of equipment that you are using. And then you must train at specific times or do special workouts. This is absolutely wrong. You can train in the morning, you can train in the evening, you can train at lunch, whatever best suits you. So, in terms of our program, number one, nutrition does the heavy lifting. And it's for men 30 plus, whether they want to train in the gym, they want to train at home, they want to build muscle, they want to drop body fat, they want to improve their health, they want to improve their hormones. Is it individualized? Absolutely. Do you have any pre-existing injuries which you think are going to impact the program? That's okay, because we work around them. In terms of time and dedication, it's no more than 3 to 4 times per week, sometimes 5 if we're feeling spontaneous, but generally speaking, 3 to 4 times a week is going to be the sweet spot. 30 to 45 minutes exercise is going to be necessary, and it 100% comes down to your schedule. So if you tell me you can't train on a Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, well, we program it for Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We use something called ADT, which stands for Assess, Diagnose, and Treat. So we assess the situation. What is the problem? We diagnose exactly what's happening. We brainstorm solutions together, and then we treat. We put a plan of action in place. And number 6, in terms of specificity, we follow a protocol called KISS. Keep it simple strategy. There's nothing worse than overcomplicating your health and your fitness, because if it becomes overcomplicated, you lose interest and you don't follow the plan in the long term. Whereas if we start to take a step back, look up, see the bigger picture, and just focus on the here and now and sort of those small milestones along the way, you are going to yield results 10 times better. So cardio, do I have to do it? I've had 0 clients do 0 cardio and lose fat, but to be honest, we do need a minimum of 3 resistance training sessions per week. Steps are going to be optimal as well, not only in terms of longevity, but also to improve your overall health and also how your body moves and how your body feels. So a 30-minute run versus 3 hours of lifting weights, I would most definitely always choose the 3 hours of lifting weights, even though you're probably going to be in the gym for 30 to 45 minutes. So please only incorporate the things you enjoy doing. Stop the ridiculous routines. And when you enjoy your workouts, you can actually do them forever, because you're going to feel motivated, you're going to be inspired, you're going to feel disciplined to be able to actually start changing your life for the better. You won't dread 5 a.m. workouts or worry if they're hardcore enough. You can only do things however you like, and you won't feel bad about it or worry that you won't get results, because you won't need to spend hours in the gym or do endless hours of cardio. You actually know what exercises to do. So again, we just ran through Matt, and he was working in finance. He's 40 years old, and he managed to drop over 20 kilos of body fat without restrictive dieting. But the most important thing here is that Matt, a couple of years ago, actually had a personal trainer, and he thought the personal trainer would help him get results, but the personal trainer only looks at the 30 to 45 minutes session that they have with you. They don't look at the remaining 23 hours of your life. So if you take anything else away from this masterclass, please, no more personal trainers or one-off programs. Please don't tell me that you're working with a personal trainer, because that means you're just going to end up relying on others, okay? Please take accountability and stop relying on others. Learn how to fit your car and stop paying others too. I want you to understand your body, the way you move, the way you feel, and whether it needs an MOT or not. 9 times out of 10, it probably does need an MOT, but a personal trainer will not fix that for you. Instead, you need to get your bachelor's degree in nutrition and training. Inside our program, we pretty much teach everything from health to fitness to nutrition, and it all comes from my personal experience and also the hundreds of hours dedicated into my clients, but also the numerous qualifications that I have myself from med school, and also years of investing into multiple mentors, coaches to perfect my craft. So when you know the specific scientific and the time-tested principles that work 100% of the time, you can actually create and obtain whatever results that you're looking for. And that's exactly what we teach. We want to be able to improve your knowledge, improve your education, improve your skill set, so that we could say that you have a bachelor's degree in nutrition and training. Not literally, but hopefully you will have. So take control of your life. With this, I'm going to control your life. A little bit of a meme there, but I really want you to take ownership of your life. I really want you to understand whether you've got a problem right now, because for the majority of people, they tend to put things off. They put things off until they get worse. And I've literally got it written on my wall opposite. It says you can have 1,000 problems in life, but when you have a health problem, you only have one problem, and that's when people do start to take control of your life, of their life, should I say. So please, please, please take this opportunity to actually reflect and take control of whatever it is that you're working towards right now. If you're not working towards anything, start before it's too late. You need a sustainable mindset to do it though, because mistake number one is relying solely on willpower and motivation. Motivation's going to come and go. You know, you may have a good workout and you feel motivated, but then next week you might be a little bit tired, a little bit lethargic, a little bit fatigued, and you're not motivated to go to the gym. And then mistake number two, reaching for quick fixes to solve problems. These marketing employees which trying to reel you in to follow a specific program or follow a specific diet, please stop falling for them. The problem with this is after you fail enough times, you actually lose belief in it being possible and you eventually give up. And this is why the fitness industry is slowly getting worse and worse, because there are thousands of coaches out there who do not have qualifications, who do not have hands-on experience with clients, and they get their first client signed up and that client has a terrible experience with that coach, and then they end up leaving that coach, and then months or even years down the line, when they do want to be able to change, they're not able to bring themselves to do it or reach out for help once again because they've been burnt in the past. And it's actually quite sad to see, because we've had hundreds of guys come through our program who have been in a similar position, and they now understand that their coach previously pretty much didn't have the tools, the knowledge, or the skill set to be able to help them. But ultimately, they knew that they needed to change, and they managed to make that next step. So here's what needs to happen. You realize you've got potential. You realize that you want to make a change, and then it leads on to an actionable change. So what do you actually do? Do you start on your own, or do you reach out to someone? Once you begin that process, you might start to see results. You might not. It really comes down to the strategy and the method that you're going to be following. However, when you get results, you then start to have internal belief. So that internal belief starts to rewire your brain and also your body. And when you have that hard rewire, it allows you to become autonomous or habitual with the things that you're working towards, such as nutrition, physical activity, or even exercise. And we almost go in this cycle because over time, we are emotional human beings. There are going to be periods where we work hard, we remain consistent, we get results, and there's going to be periods that we have to kind of pull back ever so slightly. But once we start to understand these four mechanisms where we've got potential, we then take action with that potential, we start to see results with it, and then we have that belief, which is the foundation for everything, we start to get results 10 times better, and this area starts to grow. Method number 3. So here's another client of myself, Harry. He's an entrepreneurial engineer. Again, probably one of the hardest workers I've met, alongside Sam, because when he inquired about coaching, he basically broke down his weekly schedule, and he travels around the globe, traveled by plane pretty much every 2 to 3 days, which was phenomenal. At first, I thought he was having me on. But yeah, genuinely, he was traveling to different clients around the globe every 2 to 3 days. He didn't follow a meal plan, but instead what we managed to strategize around was his training alongside working 12-hour days. So he would often find that he had low energy, he had lack of confidence. He knew he wanted to change, but he didn't know the strategy or the method to follow to be able to get to this result on the right. And in 12 weeks, he managed to lose 12 kilos again, without restrictive dieting. As you can imagine, he wouldn't have any cooking facilities, would he, if he's traveling around every 2 to 3 days? He'd often stay in Airbnbs as well. So we really had to strategize around, okay, what food and drink to consume, what was his output to ensure that his energy wasn't zapped, especially working as an engineer, 12 plus hours a day. And yeah, he managed to dramatically change his life with that. So here's a bonus secret. You've actually been brainwashed. Social media, the food industry, the fitness industry, they've all programmed your mind to believe certain things, to believe that a carnivore diet is the best, to believe that ketogenic diet is the best, to believe that training 5 days per week is going to be the best, running 3 to 4 times per week is the best, that you're not doing enough. But hey, I'm here to tell you it's not your fault. But here's what you need to know. You need to know that certain things also have certain measures. So this breakfast on the left hand side, where we've got the smoothie bowl, we've got some chia seeds, we've got some bananas, we've got some peanut butter, we've got some granola in there, we've also got some fruits. That's labeled as a good breakfast. And don't get me wrong, it's very nutritious, okay? But it's high in calories and it's high in sugar. It contains 1,072 calories, 30 grams of protein, 121 grams of carbs, 52 grams of fat. Whereas this bad breakfast on the right hand side, a fry up where you've got some eggs, you've got some chipolata sausages, we've got some mushrooms, tomatoes, even some bacon, 465 calories. So it's 37 grams of protein, 14 grams of carbs, and then 29 grams of fat. It's high in protein, it's low in carb, but it's processed. Nutritious foods can still be high in calories. So we need to have a balance of what's nutritious, but also what's less nutritious, and it's not as calorie dense. Therefore, if you're trying to lose weight or to drop body fat, this might be more preferable. However, if you're trying to improve your health and your hormones, this might also be preferable, but there could be some smart swaps that we can implement in there to get that calorie target down. We then have avocado on toast. So the avocado on toast with 40 grams of brown bread is 330 calories. Often people say, well, you're eating avocado, you know, it's healthy fats. That's idolized. I'm eating healthy, therefore I must be losing weight. The reality is, foods like Nutella on white toast, they're demonized. It contains 203 calories, but for someone that's trying to lose weight, this might be the more preferable option. Or we just reduce the quantity of that food and we look at the quality of this food. So before we wrap up, I really want you to keep the results forever, just like these guys, because for a long time you've probably been restrictive dieting, you've been going through multiple plans and programs, and you're fed up ultimately, and all of these guys were as well. We got Finn, who managed to drop 11 kilo in 12 weeks. We've got, let's go with Matt. Matt's a physiotherapist, so he managed to drop 10 kilos in 10 weeks. We got Shane. He managed to drop over 14 kilos in 12 weeks, and he completed his first photo shoot. There's different others, right? And all of these guys now have the tools, the knowledge, and the skill set to be able to navigate their nutrition, navigate fat loss, navigate muscle building, all without restrictive dieting and endless hours of cardio. So what I want for you is to improve your confidence, to improve your health, to improve your wealth, to develop strong relationships with people, whether it's friends, whether it's family, whether it's partner, whether it's people at work, but also improve your energy, because often I hear I'm super tired, I've got a lot going on at work. And the question I always ask is, do you actually have a lot going on at work, or is it more so how your body is operating? Because I want you to imagine for a second that you felt 100%, you had so much energy that when you take yourself into work, is it actually the work that's super busy, or is it the fact that your body is running itself into the ground? And it's usually the latter, because when you are firing on all cylinders and you are operating the way that you should, things get way easier. And it's because you have that education, that knowledge around how to actually navigate certain things. So stop trying everything and focus. I want you to zero in on one method that works for you, not two, not three, not five. And I want you to implement a fail-proof system by creating your dream lifestyle without feeling like you're even trying. So you have two options. Number one, you can go back to life as usual. You can go back to living a low confidence life. You can go back to being stuck with desire but no clarity on how to actually make lasting change. You can say, well, Jack, thanks very much, but I think I'd like to go back to not losing weight, not knowing how to change my habits, and trying to figure this all out on my own. Or, number two, you could make this a defined moment. You could say, I've had enough. I'm sick of not losing weight. I'm sick of constantly starting over and over again and getting nowhere. It's actually time to win. Because the truth is, you ultimately have control over the things that you do every single day. Your thoughts, they directly affect your behavior, your body's physical response, and the decisions that you make every single day. So why not be the next testimonial that we have by taking control over your life? Just like my clients did. You become our next epic case study. And this is such a golden opportunity because over the next 3 days, I've personally set aside some time to talk to you and to see if we can help you further. We'll talk for roughly 45 minutes and we'll map out an action plan for you to reach your goals, to fix your habits, to use the systems that we talked about today to accelerate, to amplify, and actually sustain your results. Now, if you want to build this out hands-on together, and I'm positive that I can actually help you get the results that you want quickly, I might invite you to become one of my new clients that I take on. But to be honest, there's no guarantee that I'll make that invitation. And there's also zero pressure to do anything if we do, because this is up to you. Now, to be honest, this could be the most transformational 45 minutes you spend on your health this entire year. But I want you to listen. You must be committed to change. I can help you reprogram your identity, master your nutrition, and also exercise how you want, but you must be willing to invest time, energy, and also resources to change. Because it actually works for those who have very little time. You've seen from the case studies, we've had entrepreneurs, we've had executives, we've had professionals, we've had those individuals that have got 20 years plus experience. And yet, we're here to create a sustainable approach to nutrition and exercise that actually gets results. You want to see quick results within the first few weeks to improve and also maintain. And you want a proven path. You want to respect the process and you want to know the step-by-step blueprint in order to get fast, incredible results. So if we work together, we'd actually work one-to-one to create the elements that we talked about today and a few more that have time to mention. It's possible to go through everything I know about building a sustainable and personalized transformation plan in a little lecture video. So obviously there's more to talk about if we do get on a call. We can talk about our metabolic system. We can talk about our loop accountability framework. We can talk about our different phases. But if you're someone I can really know I can help for sure, we'll talk about all of that. But if I genuinely don't think I can help you, I'll probably give you some ideas and clarity on a plan to get used to and to get some results that you want in your health and your fitness. Because the way the fitness industry is right now, there's nothing more in the world more important than my clients' results and changing their lives. So I want you to ask yourself this question. What will it cost you on your own? Mastering this on your own will probably cost you around 12 months of your life if you manage to figure it out. You will probably run out of energy if you haven't already, and that's going to be through a trial and error process. It's taken me 10 years and med school and countless qualifications and numerous 5 figures into multiple different mentors and coaches to streamline and simplify the systems for myself and for that of my clients. So here's what to do next. Option 1, you can drop me a direct message on Instagram at JackFitCoach with just the words video complete, I'm ready. We'll discuss availability or any other info and actually schedule a call to discuss your situation. Option number 2, you can actually schedule a call directly into my calendar with the link below. If for whatever reason you can't access that link, just drop me a message with the word link and I'll shoot it over. And then option number 3, you can actually drop me an email with the words video complete, I'm ready, along with your WhatsApp or your phone number or even your social media handle as well. And you can find my email just below. It's jackclarkfitcoach@gmail.com. So that concludes today's masterclass. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care and don't be a stranger.